Unable to challenge the Japanese fleet with conventional naval power, America turned to new ways to take the fight to the enemy.
We were without battleships and some cruisers, and our fleet was very badly decimated. Consequently, there was no other arms to send out to hold the enemy back or get back at the enemy other than the submarines. The submarines played a major role in holding back the enemy till we built our fleet up.
It was lonely and dangerous for the early submarine crews as they stalked the Japanese fleet beneath the waters of the Far East. These were the forerunners of a fleet of over 50 such boats that would help to destroy Japanese merchant shipping by the end of the war.
Submarines are a silent service. They can be completely submerged and go into areas where no surface ship can go.
We were assigned a certain area in the ocean as our area, and we were told that the only ships that would be in that area would be enemy ships. We would receive messages from the base, from Pearl Harbor, and from places down in the Australian area, telling us about messages that they had intercepted of the Japanese and where they figured convoys and individual ships were passing and that sort of thing, which our skipper that would then use as an indication where we should go and look for enemy ships.
In this deadly game, the hunter could become the hunted at any moment.
Almost invariably, after you fired torpedoes, the escorts could see the torpedo tracks, and they knew where the torpedoes came from, and they'd just run down the torpedo track expecting to find a submarine at the other end, and they usually would.
We get over 100 depth charges before we even fired a torpedo. You hear this big crack, boy, and the old boat goes like this, and you don't know whether it's down underneath you or on top of you.
We took some terrible depth charging. The Japs controlled the air, and the Japs had plenty of depth charges. We used various and sundry methods of evading them if possible, and I'm living proof that we've evaded right many.
There was 3 destroyers caught us. They started dropping charges, and I couldn't count them. And they beat the hell out of us down there. Knocked our lockers open, clothes all over, knocked the lights out, and had to go to battle lanterns, but no damage. So that was just lucky.
In the early days, the war waged by American submariners was hindered by flawed torpedo technology.
The U.S. Navy's main problem was simply reliability.
We fired 19 torpedoes, and we could hear them hitting the hull. And we were being fired on from the direction the torpedoes were coming from. But we never got any damage done, or no hits. None of them exploded.
It was frustration of the first order. You never saw such a dejected bunch in your life as you did when 4 torpedoes were fired and the sound man heard 2 of them hit and none go off.
Along with the submarines, PT boats played a vital role in the early days of the war. It was tough, dirty fighting, with the Japanese holding many advantages in the far-flung islands. Around 80 feet long, capable of 40 knots, and packed with guns, the patrol torpedo, or PT boats, were small, fast, and deadly.
We needed something that could be built fast and built in a hurry in order to fight the Japs.
Their main job was to harass the Japanese Navy, and especially to harass the logistics. It wasn't so much that they were going to attack a battleship or a destroyer, but that they could go after transports and anything trying to support the Navy, and especially in the Solomons, where you had lots of anchorages, lots of protected water. PD boats are not an open ocean weapon. They haven't got the range.
Operating at night among the islands of the Pacific, these small, maneuverable craft struck at Japanese shipping and troop transport.
We left in the daylight, last of the daylight, pretty much. We got on patrol probably in about 2 hours. We were patrolling against barges.
I think the boats as a whole did an excellent job in the Solomons and New Guinea in combating the barge traffic.
The difficulty of their mission, the constant strain of night fighting, and the cramped quarters of the small boats created an unbreakable camaraderie among the PT boat crew members.
You depended upon each other in such a tremendous way. We tend to feel that PT boaters were a chosen people on a special boat, on a special mission that'll never be repeated.
You know that you don't fight for your country, you fight for your buddies. Get them out of there. And you're responsible, every one of us, when we're in combat, has a responsibility to do a job. And we don't let our buddies down.